I was thinking about it. I think that this would be a cool way, like this would be a cool preview for the regular podcast every week if we like. Well, I guess I don't know how it would be a preview. I mean, I know how it would be a preview. It would just be like we said, like, oh, this is kind of what I've done.
And you'll talk about it.
Yeah, and then like you give like a little quick taste of it. That way, like on Tuesday, someone could watch it and go like, oh, this podcast this week will be cool.
Yeah, that would be sick. That would be cool for this podcast coming up, but we could try it. But
yeah, why not?
Because I just don't know like how it would work for next week. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. You know, like what if we don't do anything until
what if we don't do a
Thursday?
Carcast?
Or what if we just don't do anything like cool until like Wednesday of next week?
Then we say like we don't know what we're gonna talk about on the podcast. Listen at your own risk.
Yeah, at your own risk. But what are we gonna talk about on the podcast this week?
Well, what are you gonna talk about? Do you have something you want to talk about?
No, I don't know.
No, because you skydove.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I could talk about that. I could talk about skydiving. It was fun.
Fucking great.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Seriously? Was it like the best thing?
Yeah, it was pretty.
God damn, I want to do it.
It's a pretty like remarkable thing. The fact that I jumped out of a fucking plane 13,000 feet in the air.
You know what I think is really cool about it, and what I think is really admirable about it, is you are not a fan of roller coasters. Yeah. Which is totally fair. I know so many people that are. But I think it's even sicker that you got up there and jumped out of a plane knowing that you don't do something like that, because it took more for you to do that, I think, than like it would a normal person.
Like, now that I think about it, I don't think I would be afraid to ride a roller coaster because
you've jumped out of a plane.
And like I don't even think like I just don't like I don't know. It's not that I don't like roller coasters.
No, it's fair.
It's you like the only roller coaster I haven't been on is Screamin', basically.
Oh, okay.
Well, at Disneyland. I mean, I haven't really been to any other amusement parks. I don't know. I guess I just don't think that I would be that worried about going on a roller coaster now. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
because honestly, like, I wasn't really that scared to skydive.
That's sick.
I wasn't really.
I think your adrenaline was just like so raring. I would have been terrified as soon as I got onto the plane. That's when I would have been like, I'm fucked.
No, I mean,
this is it for me.
It's seriously.
I've had a good life.
It was a weird thing, man. I wasn't scared at all at any time. The only time that I felt a little bit like whoa was like literally when my feet were on the edge of the plane and I was looking out over.
Did you have that person like strapped to you?
Yeah, I went tandem.
Don't you have to your first time?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you could like pay them like $1,000. I don't know. Probably.
I would hope they wouldn't like let you pay them off to let you jump by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I was tandem, and the only time that I felt a little bit like, whoa, like this is like crazy, was when I was like when I stood up.
Question:
like, on the edge.
Group of 3 of you, Avala's mom, and you.
Uh-huh.
Or you, Avala's mom, Avala. You brought your cologne up there. Who went first?
Avala did.
That's badass.
We all got into the plane, and then it was just the last one on the plane was the first one to jump, and I went second, and Avala's mom went third.
So Avala was like, they kicked her over there like, you're first, and they took her and just threw her out. She was like,
yeah, that also was pretty crazy. Like watching them stand up and like waddle over to the edge of the plane, and then just like fall out of the plane,
and then just and you were like,
and I was just like, holy shit! Like I didn't think Avala was gonna do it.
And for a second, you were like, well, I'm single now.
No, but then I was like, I guess I'm next, and then the guys started like scooting us forward, and then like I was like, here we go, and then we did it, and like
that's all. I feel like you're in the plane, man. You gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, they said like you could stop at any time. You don't have to do it, but it was like no. I was like, I'm fucking doing it.
Nah, you got. Yeah, I'm happy for you that you made yourself do it. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, but it wasn't even like I made myself do it, you know, because I wasn't scared to do it.
Yeah.
It was I don't know why I wasn't scared, but it was a combination of a lot of things. It was a combination of the fact that everybody there was so calm about it, and the fact that I was talking to like the guys, the skydivers, and they were hella cool. First of all, I met this sick guy, and he was so fucking cool, and his name was Russell, and he was the nicest dude, and he was like, dude, you were so cool. I want to be this guy. No, not really.
I thought you want to be that banker.
No, I want to be Russell. No, but I don't want to be Russell. But Russell's life is sick. I was like asking him about it, and I was like, so how long have you been skydiving? He's like, oh, like 5 years. I was like, oh shit, that's hella cool. I was like, dude, how old are you? He's like 25. And I was like, and you're like certified to like go tandem with people? He's like, yeah, you got to get like your license and stuff. And I was like, dude, that's sick. I was like, how many times have you jumped out of a plane? And he was like, well, it takes 500 times to get your license to be a tandem jumper. So
Holy
he's like, but I
shit.
stopped counting after I got my license. And I was like, he's like, so probably like more than 1,000 times. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not scared to jump out of this plane, dude. This guy's done it 1,000 times. Everybody here's done it probably 1,000 times. There's a guy here who's like 65, who's jumping with people who's tandem. And I'm like, dude, if this 25-year-old has done it 1,000 times, I can only imagine how many times that 65-year-old has done it, dude. Like, I was like,
this is first.
I was like, yeah. I was like, this isn't a scary thing, I don't think. Like, I think just the fact that you're jumping out of a plane gets to people, and then they're scared of that. But like,
what would have been the funniest fucking thing is if you stepped up to go and you went, I want to just let you know that my girlfriend just broke up with me and I'm in a weird place. And you like fall out of there and you're like,
wow, that's a beautiful house right there. That's
yeah,
cool.
that is. That would be a joke.
Yeah, that is what that is. They all did that. They all were like trying to scare you and like trying to like make you think like this is a scary thing. But like they all have like their little jokes and stuff. Like, all right, so if you slide out of the harness when you're in the sky, just stay calm. I'm gonna come and get you. Okay, just like saying stuff like that and like. Yeah, I don't know.
Slide out of the harness.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not.
I wonder if you're like, man, they're like trying to scare us, but they're like,
dude, stop laughing. It's a serious
stop
thing.
laughing, and
People
then you like
slide
land,
out.
and there's like
People
splatter marks all over.
People slide out of these all the time. I'm like, then why don't you make a new one? Why don't you redesign these things?
If we can't afford them, our funding's been cut like crazy.
The government is on our asses because so many people fall out of these things.
We only have the 4 parachutes, and you're like, there's 5 people on this, minus the guy who just jumped, and they're like, oh. And they look at you, they go, we always choose one.
Why don't you just not let him on the plane with you? Yeah, it was cool.
Diminished profits? Yeah, right. We're in a recession.
It was super sick. It was really fast, and
How long do you think you were in the air for?
not even 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, that seems like a long time to be fucking falling.
Well, what about? You mean how long was I free falling?
Oh,
or
yeah.
How long was I
How long were you
falling?
free falling?
Maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, well, that kind of...
Maybe a minute. Maybe.
It probably blew by. You're probably, like, free falling for, like, 45 minutes, and you're like, this is crazy.
No way, dude. It was probably... I mean, I'm trying to be really realistic. Like, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi,
Okay.
3 Mississippi.
Yeah, so it was...
Maybe 30 to 45
It's
seconds.
a longer time than you would think.
Yeah. I mean, it was long enough because I was like, we were free falling, and I was like, when's he gonna pull the parachute? Like, when are we gonna like stop free falling? I was like, I kind of am like ready to like stop.
When you pulled the parachute,
You go from 120 miles an hour or 110 miles an hour to 10 miles an hour in a matter of 2 seconds.
yeah, that probably didn't feel great.
No, it wasn't bad. It didn't. It's not as gnarly as it seems.
My question is, how quiet was it?
It was insanely quiet. That's so funny.
When I went parasailing,
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, look at all this wind, this is insane, and you like bounce up
Yeah.
over a certain thing, and it goes dead, and I
silent.
was like,
It's crazy. Yeah, that's what's so funny.
it was so beautiful.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was just explaining that to somebody last night. I was like, dude, I was telling them about it, and I was like, the craziest thing was like, I thought it was gonna be like that up in the air, like still hecka windy and stuff, and then like, and it was super loud and super windy, like when we're free falling. But then, like as soon as he pulls the parachute, I mean not as soon, but like as soon as like we like start like as soon as everything's opened up and everything. Dead silent, dude. Like the quietest I've ever heard. You can't hear anything. You can't hear cars, nothing, dude. That and the fact that we're out in the middle of nowhere, like, makes it even more.
Right? It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the water when I was doing it, so there was nothing around.
Yeah.
And like we were really far away from the island that we were at, so like we couldn't even really see it. So it was literally, there was nothing except just like the blue underneath us.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like, I was like up there and I was like, dude, like what, like.
Oh, the book fair. I loved that.
Yeah, I love that too, dude.
It felt like like a real fair. I would go to it, and even though I would never really get any books, I'd just be like, oh man.
I just remember everything being so expensive.
Yeah, I couldn't afford them. Damn, I'm so happy that you got this silent part of it, because that's something I think about a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It's just how quiet it actually was.
Yeah, it was super cool. And then I was like asking the guy, like, when we were like parachuting down, like, I was like, oh, it's like we could see everything for miles, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were saying, like, on a clear day you could see like the Golden Gate Bridge and stuff.
Where did you
or the Bay
Bridge?
Bridge?
Where'd you do it?
Byron.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like
Just right down
yeah.
to Vasco. You just go, like,
Yeah.
basically right down to Vasco. And it was super sick. I was like, oh, where's Livermore? And he was like, oh, that's Livermore right there. And I was like, wow, that's sick. I was like, is that Lake Del Valle? He's like, no, that's Los Vaqueros. And I was like, oh, dude, that's
so
he was just
funny
like
to be
telling
like,
me, like,
hey mom.
Yeah,
He was like, yeah, kid.
He was like just telling me like a bunch of like kind of like cool little like stuff about stuff. He's like, there's Mount Diablo over there, and he was like, oh, there's your girlfriend up there. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
There's your girlfriend up there, and
there's your mom.
She's
down
hanging there passed out.
And dude, like looking down, it's so crazy, dude, because like it's just like my feet, and then it's just thousands
I
of
would
feet.
really love to have Avila talk about it also tomorrow on the podcast.
Okay.
Like on a mic, talk about it, sit there. Like I'll get up and I'll do the camera thing if you need to, because I'd like to hear how different it is without you saying anything. So on this, like, have your account, like, because I've heard it now. I would love to hear what she thought of it separately from you.
Okay.
Because I think that'll be really cool.
All right, we can do that.
It's so sick that she did that.
Yeah, I was really
So
impressed.
sick that you both did that.
I was really impressed with her because I didn't think that she was gonna do it. I thought she was
Really?
gonna get up there. And
Was
then,
she super scared?
No.
I mean, within reason, maybe?
Yeah, I think she was more like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna jump out of a plane. Like, oh my god, like kind of like a nervous, like
a normal
excitement,
person?
a nervous excitement. Yeah. But I mean, if she was scared, she was hiding it really well.
Maybe Avila's just like fucking fearless.
Yeah, but I was like really impressed. I didn't think that she was gonna. I thought she was gonna get up there and then say, no, I can't do it.
That's awesome.
But
It's so awesome. Respect to both of you. I think that's so cool.
yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think it's not anything as bad as what most people think it is. I feel like it's something that it's just a lot of like there's like a stigma, I think, to
Oh,
it.
completely.
Like,
yeah.
But dude, it was.
I mean, when you think about it, it's just as dangerous as like getting in a boat with someone who drives a boat 1,000 times
Yeah.
in their life, and like
yeah,
saying like,
like,
oh well, going out on open water, you could get.
It's more dangerous driving in a car than it is to jump out of a plane.
Oh yeah, because that's all on you.
Yeah, like, man, it's if you could get over the fact that you're jumping out of a plane, then it's the easiest thing to do.
That's so awesome.
And like, man, it's so rewarding.
Like I said, I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, man.
That's so awesome. What day did you do that? Saturday?
Yes.
On Thursday, I went to the screening of Harmontown, the documentary about the creator of like Community and Rick and Morty and all that stuff. And what else has he written? Oh, he wrote the movie Monster House, which is really funny because that movie's actually really funny.
That movie was just on TV. My sister was watching it, and I was watching parts of it.
Dan Harmon. And I went and saw that movie. The movie is amazing. I can't wait to talk about it like at length tomorrow. But then after they did a live podcast, and I'm on it. Pulled me up out of the crowd. Me and one other person got up on there at another point. 30 minutes up there. Literally on his podcast, on mic, talking to him.
Did he say when it's gonna be out?
No. I've been checking relentlessly.
Is it gonna be like a
podcast?
I mean, like a soon to be released podcast?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was talking about the last one they did was released on the 14th, and they release them typically closer, but I think he had dates, like 3 dates in a row with these ones, so he was like doing stuff a lot. But it'll come out. It'll be the next one that comes out.
Oh, sick.
So if someone wants to listen to that, I'm not going to broadcast that I was on it to everyone. Number one, because it was pretty personal, and that's like really cool for me, and it was really good to get up and just like be validated by someone who feels the same as me, but also someone who terrifies me that I will beat them. It was such a crazy night for me. I can't even believe it happened. I can't believe I was on stage with Dan Harmon and he was like, "Do you want some vodka? Like, we all drink on this." And I was like, "Okay, sure." Like, why not? Everything is cool, right? You got fired from Community. And it was insane. It was so insane to have a person like him like reach out and say like, "Dude, it's cool." And they played D&D on it also. I can't wait to talk about the documentary at length because it was so good. It was just it was so cool. Everything was cool.
Wait, you watched a documentary there?
Yeah, the screening of the movie Harmontown. That's a documentary about him when he got fired from Community. He immediately was like, "I have to do something. Like, I'm going to take my podcast on the road. Do you want to make a documentary about this? Like, I think you're going to see someone implode. It's going to be really cool."
Jeez.
And they were like,
referring to himself.
Yeah, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, let's do that." So they went on like a 3-week tour where every night they were in a different city doing a podcast.
Wow.
Every single night. And it was the first time he had done like live stuff like that too, so it was like a big deal for him.
Yeah.
And you see like the in-between journey where he was like writing a pilot for CBS and Fox trying to get like a new job.
Yeah.
And then also like when he gets rehired at Community.
This intersection is deadly, dude.
Yeah, I can believe it. It was so crazy to me watching that podcast or watching that because it ended and I was like, that movie was amazing. I can't wait to own it. It was really inspirational. I was already on like a writing kick from what you had said to me. I started writing again, which feels really good. And then I watched that and was like, I can do it. Like, why would I not be able to? And then they were like, all right, the live podcast is next, like after the Q&A. And I was like, awesome. I can't wait to be a part of this. Like, I can't wait to like be here for a podcast.
Yeah.
And then I was on it and I was like, what? Like,
that's insane. Dude.
It's so insane. I cannot wait for, like I said, for it to come out. It's not going to be like, I'll say it on the podcast, but I'm not going to be like, hey, everyone, here's the link to Harmontown that I was on. It's going to be amazing. Also, our podcasts are on iTunes.
Oh, you should have saved that for Friday. Oh, well.
Whatever.
So, yeah, podcasts are on iTunes.
Grand finale of the audio or of the video is tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
minus the Carcast
is on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
But we're recording it tomorrow.
Yeah. Grand finale. Gonna be a fireworks show, live entertainment. Usher's gonna be there.
Usher, yeah, we got Usher, which is great. Usher.
We got an Usher.
He's black though, so it's still basically like
it's the same. They all look the same.
Yeah, so sweet. So you're gonna talk more in depth about the Harmontown, the documentary, and the podcast that you were on, and that will also be the last ever video recorded.
I wouldn't say last ever. The last, like, in a series of video recorded podcasts.
Right.
Because maybe we'll think of doing something else.
Maybe
like
we
a
will.
one-off or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Don't count on it.
But for the most part, that's probably going to be the last one that we record with video.
18.
But we're gonna keep doing them every week. They're just gonna be on iTunes, and you're gonna be able to just download them from iTunes. So yeah, cool. I guess we will see you guys on Friday then.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.